Hi, friend. It's crazy.
Okay, but what's the like fruit giving? What is this?
A charcuterie board. Don't cut up. You've been doing good.
No, listen, I had to have a talk with myself. I said, I'm not going to embarrass her.
So you're
not gonna embarrass her.
You
ain't gonna embarrass her.
We're not.
I be behaving. These are my two young friends.
It's given we shouldn't have sat next to each other. Why you put us next to each other?
You know what? You're absolutely right.
Because this happened at the golf.
At the golf thing. What happened at the golf thing?
We was putting up.
Okay.
Who was this influencer?
You said what?
I can never be an influencer, because who am I influencing? Eat breakfast.
It looks good.
Eat breakfast. Oh, I'm about to eat
Oh,
this.
she gonna
It's
even
be
like
delicious.
she can't even.
It's going to be delicious.
It's gonna be gone.
Oh my gosh.
She the type of person she'll try to.
And imagine somebody trying to beat us dead. I'm like, girl, is that? I'm about to definitely.
So big. Like, why did you get this whole grown man sandwich? Jesus.
They over there got all them
I mean,
yeah,
it really does. I'm not gonna eat all of this.
You was
If you want
funny.
a little pinch, let me know. I'll give you some.
Soon from Dr. Terry Quinn, where we're going to learn about breast health. So this is an opportunity for you guys to ask questions, get comfortable, and learn from one another. So we're going to have you guys take your orders soon, mix and mingle, get to know each other. There's also a pre-survey on your table. If you guys could please take that. Just kind of test your knowledge before we hear from Dr. Terry Quinn. And then when you're done, we'll have a post-survey at the end. So again, please get to know each other, and we'll start shortly. Thank you.
Hello.
I had the pleasure of meeting a couple of you earlier. Continue to eat, just chew very lightly. It's the pleasure of the organization to meet young ladies before breast cancer, because we're here today with the pleasure of Brianna Allen with TakeCareofYouSis to talk to you about breast health. Sisters Network is a breast cancer organization, so we know that younger women are possibly getting breast cancer early. So we want you to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
And because of my experience and the experience of the organization, we know what's missing and what you need to know. And that's why we have a fabulous doctor who's beautiful and young, who's been in the business of breast health and breast cancer for many years. And that's what we do across the country. Inform you, give you the knowledge that you need to save your life. I had to save my life 4 times. I've had breast cancer 2 times on the left, 2 times on the right. Because
you out walking with us for our annual event. Our theme is called 6,000 Sisters, 6,000 Steps for Hope. You don't have to be a survivor, but just coming out to be able to be among the other sisterhood of women within the community. And it's, of course, you can visit us on our website at SistersNetworkDallas.org and get all of the details. If you want to register, you can do that as well. We would love to have you come out. And of course, again, you know, a 22-year breast cancer survivor. I didn't know anything about that and didn't know anything about the organization when I was diagnosed. It was after that. And so once I began to get involved, then when it's the next time, I'm a 3-time breast cancer survivor. The first time was 2002. The second time was 2005, which was, you know, a lumpectomy that I had. And then this third time, which was just last year, where it's been such a long time being in that journey, that's where my organization, the Organization of Sisters Network Dallas, I was beginning to collaborate with other sisters within the network to ask, well, what did you do? What am I to expect? You know, and so this came all together, and so they rallied around me and got me to be where I am today. You know, when you're going through something as major as a mastectomy done, you know, you just never know what to expect, and that can happen to anybody. You know, the statistic says now that 1 out of 8 women will be diagnosed, and we know that every 3 minutes, someone is being diagnosed. So that's why Sisters Network organization is here. We're in the community of Dallas, so Look us up, call us, let us know. As our founder said, if you know anybody in your family that is diagnosed and needs some type of
I'm a senior America, 25,
Okay.
for women over 60. And I'm going to be the MC for the pageant this year, and so I got to work on my jobs. Here's one of them. Anybody that's going to focus on the family? It's kind of a faith-based radio 90.9. So this particular morning, they were talking about forgiveness. And the scenario was, it was a woman getting dressed for work. And she said, Cynthia to her husband, and he's just playing with her zipper. Zip, up, down. And then he broke it. And she was in a hurry. So now she's upset because now it's like, I'm already running late, now I gotta change clothes. So later in the day, when she came home, she walked up and saw her husband lying underneath the car fixing it. And so his legs are hanging out. She just can't resist walking by and fiddling with his zipper. So she gotta go zipper. Okay. And she walks out into the house. But when she gets in the house, there's her husband standing in the kitchen.
Oh.
There's some lemonade, two cups, and she's like, what are you doing in here? He goes, this is my house. He goes, who is that out there? He's like, oh, that was John. John, he came over to help me with the car. She's like, oh my God. So she explains to him what she's done to John. They go out to try to explain it to him, but he's knocked out cold. And they pulled him out from under there, and when he comes to, he said what happens when she went by and did that to the zipper, he stood straight up and knocked himself back out. There's a couple who is celebrating their 60 years of life and 30 years of marriage, and they had the entire family and head table. They got their daughters and granddaughters and grandsons and the whole family, and a fairy godmother whispers in the ear of the husband of the wife and says, hey, I'm going to grant you any wish you have. And she says, I would like for my husband and I to take a trip around the world. And the fairy godmother says, done. Then she whispers in the ear of the gentleman and says, anything you want. I'll grant you anything you want in the world. And he says, I wish my wife were 30 years younger. And just like that, he was 90. We tend to get diagnosed late. Okay? Number two, when we're diagnosed, we don't always seek care. Number three, when we get care, we don't always follow through. Number four doesn't matter, because 1, 2, and 3 is enough. It makes a difference. I'm sure there is a 4, but the top 3 is. And probably also is that we tend to be diagnosed with, particularly in your young women, a disease that's a little more aggressive, high grade, we call those. Sometimes triple negative, HER2 positive cancers. But all of those can be treated with good outcomes if we follow the plan. We have to get diagnosed early. Now, Ms. Jackie made reference to, or I think Ms. Celine, that a lot of times when we find something, we're not sure people will believe us. So it's important for you to advocate for yourself. I don't need everybody to get an MRI. I just want you to screen. If we can just get women screening consistently, we're gonna find most cancers at an early stage treatable for sure. If you self-breast examine once a month, preferably after your menstrual cycle, that's when the breasts are the most bright. If you don't have a menstrual cycle anymore, pick the day of your birth. I was born on the 25th, so the 25th of every month, I could do a self-breast exam. Number 2, you need to have an annual clinician exam by somebody. Some doctor who does a good breast exam. My primary care doctor barely touches me. Find one who will. Okay, it doesn't have to be a surgeon, but somebody who actually does a breast exam. Number 3, you have to get mammograms every year for sure, starting at 40. I don't really want to hear about the few people over here who got breast cancer even though they did that. Because that's going to be a small number. The reason I see patients at an advanced stage is because they're not doing any of these things most of the time. So yeah, you're going to have outliers. The bell-shaped curve, right? One deviation that way, one deviation that way, but 90% of us, 95% of us, if you do those three things, if you develop a breast cancer, you will survive it. Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that, if nothing else, because we may talk about a lot of other things. So we got it? Self-breast exams. Once a year, right? No, once a month. Don't, that was a trick.
You got it.
I'm faith-based too. We do what we can, the Lord heals. We do what we can, everybody ain't gonna stay. Because this is flesh, but it's going to go to the grave. But in the meanwhile, if we can survive, that's what we want to do. All right, so what are the three things? One, exam
Monthly.
after your period. And if you don't have a period,
On my birthday.
Number two,
Clinician exam annual.
number three. What if I
Every
have
year.
money?
Emergency Medicaid.
Yes, okay. All right, here, okay, let's go to something else. What can I do to reduce my risk? Okay, all right. So I'm gonna call this, do anybody know David Letterman? Are y'all? Does anybody remember David Letterman's top 10? So David Letterman was he was like big premier talk show host for the evening, long before Steve Colbert and all that. And some of the other people that I cannot think of. Jimmy Kimmel. Right along with the guy with the chin, whatever his name is, I can't think of. The guy with the long chin. No, long before Seth Murray.
I want to say Al Roker, but I know that's not me. Jay Leno. Why would I say Al Roker?
David Letterman had tonight's top 10. And he would just count them down. It was so funny. Top 10 things that Trump said, or top 10 things not to do at a party, or whatever. So I call these my top 5 for Dr. Quinn to reduce your risk. Okay? Number 1, did you know that smoking is the number 1 modifiable risk factor all over the world for cancer?
Yeah.
Smoking. Smoking affects every system that we have. Lips, oropharynx, esophagus, duodenum, stomach, colon, bladder, kidney, liver, urethra, anything at all, any system we have. Smoking affects. There's a lot of women now doing cigars. Cigar bars are very popular. They look good, they dress up because it looks like success. They put on men's suits, or they just there trying to get picked up by men in suits. And they say, I'm not inhaling, I'm only puffing. Well, guess what? One cigar is equivalent to 20 cigarettes.
Oh my God. Yes.
When you put it on
My
your
area of
lips,
expertise.
that wrapping does not protect you from carcinogens. They go through that wrapping
There's
to
no
your
filter or
mucosa here.
nothing.
You swallow cigar juice. That affects all those systems that I just said. So tell women to stop smoking cigars. It's not cute.
And they don't need to smoke them either.
When they have to smoke out the trick. Okay? Stop that. Smoking is the number 1 modifiable risk factor in the world. Number 2, alcohol.
I know. Why we drink them?
No more.
Everybody's looking at each other like, come on now.
Glass and a half. Champagne.
Jesus.
Say it ain't so, Lord. Say it ain't so. As I take a sip.
Speaking of those, you can say
Please,
have
let's
without
take a
using
picture.
it.
Might as well.
Okay, none. Okay, something more than
And I
none.
pregame before.
Only two. Okay, so one. And I don't mean a one goblet. one glass of something or 30-ounce shot. Okay? So to reduce lower, no alcohol. But then there's nobody living. So maybe I want alcohol. So I have one. No more than one a day. I do have women, older women especially, who drink a half bottle of wine a night. And have for many years. And they dare me to tell them to stop. Okay. And so I don't. I just say, well, if you can, maybe you can just reduce it to like 2 glasses.
Yeah, like a 4.
I guess that is alcohol.
Put it in
Right?
hand.
Right. So I try to get them to reduce it if they can. But sometimes they just won't. When they get 80 something, they can do what they want to do. That's the thing about being 80. But in the 30s and 40s, though, we need to try to reduce that risk. Because we want to get to 100, we want to be healthy. So decrease alcohol. Number 3 is vitamin D. We all need some.
Yes.
I also recently found out that vitamin D was also important for metabolism of glucose. We can reduce our risk of type 2 diabetes with adequate vitamin D. Vitamin D we get from the sun, but we might not get quite enough of it. We almost all need supplements. The darker we are, the more supplements we need.
Yeah.
Okay, brown skin people. And not only is it good for bone health and decreasing breast cancer risk, it also decreases colon cancer risk. So vitamin D is good. Most of us are vitamin D deficient.
Yeah.
So, and they only recently started checking it about 15 years ago, it seemed like. And they will find that most people who finally do check it are a little bit lower than we should be. So that's good. We've got decreased smoking, decreased alcohol, vitamin D. So now we're going to talk about exercise and diet. And there is no diet that has been shown to reduce breast cancer risk, like the Mediterranean diet or no meat, all fish, all that. None of that really has been consistently shown to drive down cancer risk. But in general, diet is often associated with weight. So if we maintain a healthy body weight, which reduces the amount of circulating estrogens, which is why increased alcohol increases the risk, increased estrogens, we can drive down the rate of breast cancer. So controlling your weight, staying close to the ideal body weight, can reduce your risk for breast cancer. Now, the thing about it is, something more important than that even is consistent exercise. So you can have a patient with a 0% body fat, or if that's a thing, who gets breast cancer, because it happens. And we know, separate and apart from ideal body weight, exercise 3 days a week for as little as 20 minutes a day can drive down the risk for breast cancer. 20 minutes. You don't have to join a gym. You don't have to have a trainer. 20 minutes of increased cardio, like we call it moderate exercise. So like a brisk walk, and then in this walk, you shouldn't be able to have a conversation with your friends about, girl, did you see how she did? You shouldn't be able to do that. It needs to be like, you can't catch your breath, when you're talking on your exercise route. But 20 minutes, 3 days a week, we all can do that, right? Come on, we can do that. And that does reduce our risk, independent of the patient's weight. Now, I just hit about 5 things, plus the screening mammograms, the early detection, the self-breast exams, and all of those things are key in helping us to be diagnosed. And then we can reduce the gap in mortality or the discrepancy in mortality between African American women and everybody else, right? So we're going to get access to care, we're going to get early diagnosis. Now, we do know that in the African American community, it's probably related to our ancestry, that you've heard about this triple negative breast cancer. Are there breast cancer survivors in here? Yes. The risk of breast, and the incidence rather of breast cancer in the women less than 40. And so the incidence of breast cancer is slowly increasing overall, like 0.7% per year. But in the African American community, it's a little bit bigger, more like 1.7. It's still small, but it's a trend up. And they're also seeing, if you break it up in terms of age, I think the women 40 or less may have a 2.4% risk per year, which again is higher than everybody else, but it's still not very high. But I will say that our survival, our mortality continues to eat down. All right, we're going to try to close that gap between African American mortality and everybody else. And that all starts with early diagnosis and following through with the recommended treatment. Okay, I think that's it.
Any questions?
Questions?
I have a question. So, I'm about to put my business out there.
Okay, well, you can just talk about it like it's a friend.
No, it's me. It's me. I have no breast, and I've always considered breast augmentation. But how, if I were to go through with that, like, how would that affect like my chances or me just being able to like check in on myself or getting for seeing if I have a lump or anything like that? Like, would that change anything you just said? Would I have to be more cautious of anything?
That's a great question. It does not increase your risk for breast cancer. It does not hide detection. What it will do, however, is maybe make more contacts with imagers for abnormal little lumps and bumps that occur. Because anytime you surgically alter the breast, it's a little bit different. And if you were doing self-breast examinations monthly, which you will be, you might notice that it's a little bit different after the surgery compared to before. And so you might get a few more ultrasounds, in between it, like just to image these screens. But generally speaking, the implants are placed retro behind the muscle or behind the breast, and it pushes the tissue forward. And so actually it makes it a little easier to detect clinic heart. Yes.
Wasn't thinking about it, but now you say that.
Right, like that's awesome.
Since you put it that way.
She said special gift.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
So my mother's mom had breast cancer. So when it comes to someone in your family having breast cancer, what are the chances of, those coming down the line?
Let me ask you this. Her question was her grandmother was diagnosed with her grandmother with breast cancer. What age?
I have no idea.
Do you think she was older? You think she was over 50?
Probably so.
Because that's kind of the key thing. It really doesn't confer much risk to you. Now, when you start talking about risk in families, and we didn't talk about genetic testing, I just want to say a little bit about that. So, when women are diagnosed with breast cancer in their 30s and 40s, they are kind of a red flag for perhaps having a genetic link as to why they have that breast cancer. That's not a typical age for breast cancer. The typical age for breast cancer is 55 and above. So if you're diagnosed at 32 or 25, 28, all of those I've seen, then that's kind of like, wonder what's going on in this family. And we would do genetic testing for that young lady to see if she inherited something from her mother or father that got passed down through the years, through the generation, that put this woman at an increased risk of breast cancer today. The typical family has multiple premenopausal with breast cancer. So your grandmother being diagnosed in late 50s or 60s, that's pretty typical. We would call those kind of sporadic breast cancers, meaning it just happens. But if you told me that your mother, your grandmother, your aunts, all of them had breast cancer in their 30s and 40s, and maybe sprinkle ovarian cancer in there, which, by the way, is a very rare cancer. I'm more interested in a patient telling me she has an ovarian cancer history than 2 or 3 family members with breast cancer postmenopause. Ovarian cancer at any age is a rare thing. Pancreatic cancer too. So those things, gastric cancers, rare cancers these days, those stand out as potentially genetically linked more so than women diagnosed late in life with breast cancer, which we kind of expect. So no, you can start your screening at 40. If your mother, for example, was diagnosed at a young age, that you were right the first time, what was your age of diagnosis?
I was in my late 40s.
Okay, she was late 40s. She was 40. And 40s is kind of, it's still young because it's less than 50. But usually what we'll do is we'll start screening 10 years younger in her children. 10 years younger than the index patient. So if she's diagnosed at 43, then you would start screening at 33.
Oh.
And if you were diagnosed at 33, your child will probably start screening at 25. You can't do mammograms, by the way, in the early 20s. You should not do mammograms in the early 20s. I don't care what people say, because the breast is actually still developing in the 20s. And so radiation.
I know that's right.
Still got time. No, that's wrong.
So
They need to
one of the
stop.
common reasons for breast cancer was radiation. Which is right, we call it mantle radiation. They radiate right there. And so years later, those women were diagnosed with breast cancer in their 20s because they were treated as children while their breasts were developing with central radiation. Okay, so we're not doing that so much for children anymore. But whenever I get these women come home in college and their mothers coming with them and say, "You need to stop messing around and go ahead and get my daughter this mammogram." And I'm like, "No, I don't want to do that for her now. Let's start with the sonogram." In the young women, most of the time, you are going to find abnormalities by self-breast exam or by sonogram, by and large. So, yes.
So Karen, you shared your story about how you went to the doctor, you felt something, and they were giving you a screening, but you needed like an MRI. Is that correct?
Ultrasound first.
Okay, ultrasound. So let's say like we go in there, or we know someone who goes in there and they get a screening and it's good, but how would you know that you would need to go to the next step of getting an ultrasound or MRI? Because you said you felt and you knew, but what if people are getting screenings and you're told that they're okay and they're not?
Okay, so is in this scenario, is someone feeling something?
I don't know. I just know that sometimes like doctors are not always accurate, and I pay to like think that it's okay. In her situation, she would have took the doctor's word for it.
She felt something though.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. She felt something. She felt something. She had a screening mammogram was negative, and I don't want to just focus on you, but if a person has a mass, they feel, or lump, or something's different, because I listen to all that. The patients usually know what they're talking about. If they have something that I say that lasts through 2 menstrual cycles or 2 months, they bring it and let me see. That's usually going to be if they're 40 and above, or maybe 35, 30. If you're over 30 and you have something, I will mammogram you. Okay? Mammogram plus ultrasound. That's going to find 99% of what's wrong. If that mammogram and sonogram is negative, and it feels okay to me, this is where clinical judgment comes in, then I'll usually say, come back in 3 months and take a look. If the patient says, and now we get into a very few number of people.
Okay.
If there is an area that feels abnormal to me with a negative mammogram and a negative sonogram, I have taken some of those patients to surgery just because. Now, fortunately, most of them I'm not going to be positive, but it makes the patients feel good because it's like it feels weird and it stands out. And if it stands out to me, sometimes I'll take it out, but I will tell you most of the time it's benign. And you're going to find, my goal is not to talk about the 1%.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the 90, 95, 98%. which is mammogram and sonogram, is going to find almost everything along clinician exams. MRI is not a good screening tool. Even a good screening tool, like a pap smear. A pap smear is a good screening tool because it's widely available and it's cheap and it's easy to administer. Okay, that's why pap smears are so common and such a good screening tool. Screening mammogram is a good tool because it's widely available, easy to administer, and cheap. MRI is not widely available. It is not easy to administer, and it's showing.
It is not cheap. It's showing.
And when you get an MRI, you're bound to get through it. Now I tell people, if you get one, be prepared to do what it says. MRI uses IV techniques with gadolinium, and it goes to wherever there's a lot of turnover of cells, wherever there's a lot of blood flow. And there are, most of the time, multiple areas that have increased blood flow. Cancers tend to have increased blood flow because they're turning over and growing. But guess what? Benign things can do that too.
I appreciate you all taking care of you and being here and prioritizing your health. I hope that you all learned something. I know I did. I have been around the breast cancer world forever because of my grandmother, and I'm constantly learning. So I just empower you all to continue to keep learning and take care of yourself. And when you feel something's wrong, like, please go to the doctor. Don't second guess yourself because truly you could save your life. Oh, yes, please don't forget to do the post survey. And then when you are done, you can come hand it to me on the other side of the pre-survey. We'll hand you a gift bag. Thank you to Amika, Topical, the Black Girl Vitamin, who have graciously given us some fun beauty products for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, can we get a hand together?
So just close it out. The Sisters Network is here to support you. When you leave, please take one of these Check Your Girls. It tells you how to check your girls. This also tells you what you're shooting for. And then right here, if you want to feel the breast models, you can feel what's normal, where there's fibrocystic, and then also what a lung might feel like, so that you can get a sense of what you're looking for. Again, we're so thankful that you came out and took time out of your busy day to be with us and take care of you.
Thank you. This was beautiful. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
They have the validation machine down there, so you need to show them where.
This camera is too expensive to be trying to fall like that. How dare you? Act like you ain't got no home train. Oh my God. This is exactly why you can't take me or this camera anywhere. Now the girls here are so beautiful. I've just been able to network and that's cool, right? It's a good time. It's a good time. Let me see if I can turn. Thank you. That's perfect. That's perfect. Cut it off after the check. Please, you are so irritating. Okay, I just want to finish the brunch video. It was honestly perfect. It was truly fantastic. A lot more than what I was expecting. We did have like a little networking meet and greet, and then they left us with these beautiful bags from their sponsors. So it has the TakeCareofYouSis and the Sisters Network. Let me show y'all the goodies that was in this bag. Like, first off, Black Girl Vitamins, D3, Simply Perfection. I will be using these. I feel like everyone needs some vitamin D in their life, and I know for sure I am vitamin D deficient. Black Girl Sunscreen. I feel like I need to get better with sunscreen. We're out of summer season now at the time of me recording this video, but I'm gonna give this a try because I might be purchasing some with my own funds. There was some Amika Dream Routine Overnight Hydration Treatment. Now this is a big one. I wasn't expecting like a full size, but this is, I can't wait to use this and try it. There was also some topicals. There was some eye mask in there. My friend who just did my lashes raved about these, so these are actually going to go to her because I love her that much. And then there is some topicals hydrating moisturizer, like butter. I'll probably give her this one too, not gonna lie. I just love her that much, and I don't know too much about topicals, and not to say that I don't want to, but when you're blessed, you just bless others. And then there is some Uncle Funky Daughters hair care products. Now this is a travel set. It comes with actual 4 different bottles, and I'll show y'all all of them. But it comes with this cute little like clear bag, and even if you don't use the products, because I most likely will not, you can take these out, actually read what's on the front and back, because it is some very good information about breast cancer. And he says a little pouch, and this would be cute for like concerts or whatever. So I will definitely be using this, not so much the products. I'll likely give them to my mom. So this is a shampoo, I believe. Yeah, clarifying shampoo. This is really cute. This is a polishing hair finish. It's called Glossy. This one is a odor neutralizing tonic. Oh, I might keep this one. It says for locks, natural styles, and protective styles. So cute. I might keep this one. And then the last one is a Richie Rich period conditioner. So yeah, I got some goodies. I love getting goodies. And then of course there was a lot of information about the various programs, the chapters or organizations. Yeah, network affiliate chapters. I had to make sure I was saying that right. Of the chapter information, breast examination. There was a like a little display table where you could like feel what like a normal breast felt like, and what a mask felt like. So that was really cool. I got 2 of these. And then how to do a self-examination and some more history about the Sisters Network. I had a great time. My friends was cutting up, but overall it was really fun. I want to encourage more women to go and get your health checked. I know with my family history, it's very important for me to make sure I'm all aligned when it comes to cancers and things like that, because I have it on both sides. So make sure you're doing something for you. I didn't expect this to turn into like a video, to be honest. So there's not really anything in the beginning, but if you stuck through this long, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, make sure you're subscribed to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you know every time I drop something new. I gotta get to recording this Dior unboxing, so I gotta go, y'all. Bye.